That must be making you dizzy. She is definitely eating. Definitely eating. And she went right to this. So she may have appeared so weak because she's just starving to death. This time of year when it gets warm, when it shouldn't be, and there are there's no pollen out, there's, well, not much, and there's certainly no honey flow on. There's a situation with the metabolism of all animals that if you increase the temperature by 1 degree Celsius, their metabolic rate is going to be 10 times higher than it was a degree lower, which means they require a lot more calories. So this time of year, when it gets unseasonably warm and there's no food to forage, they really need help. And her energy levels are coming up as she feeds herself. So we probably just saved a little bumblebee. Also, I'm thinking I may start feeding wild bees away from the hive. Put a feeder out for them so that I have less robbing. Because honestly, bees are bees, and I love all bees, even if they're not my bees. I don't want them starving to death, and I don't know, if they're out robbing, then either they're a wild hive that is bereft of food, or there's some person's hive and that person is not feeding them sufficiently, and so they're out robbing, because well-fed bees, just like human beings, do not fight. They don't go robbing. They have no need to. So while I can't really afford to support feeding lots of bees that are not mine and will not be making honey for me, and I really don't want to accidentally be feeding Africanized bees, which are fairly uncommon hereabouts, I do want the bees to flourish because we need them. Our entire survival as a species, and every other species, is hinging on these pollinators. So if I figure out, I'm going to do a little research, and if I figure out a way to, without causing problems for my own bees, to feed other bees, I think I'm going to do it, and I will let you know how that works out. She's looking much better now, kind of meandering about, looking at all this food she has and deciding what she wants to eat. She looks much better. And I no longer consider her to be likely dying, because dying bees don't bother trying to eat. She doesn't want the sugar water all over her, the syrup, but she wants to keep eating, and she has to kind of go in there to get it. So it gets on her. And we'll just leave her here and leave the cap here so she can get the nourishment she needs. Because, well, if we all looked out for each other this way, not only would the world be a much nicer place to be, knowing everybody's kind of got each other's back, but we'd have a much greater chance of surviving, learning to cooperate that way. Food for thought, and for bees. I love you all.